Hello, good morning, Captain. So today we are going to record the 13th episode. In the last episode, you were with Bombay Port Trust and now you are making a move to Singapore.
Yes.
So let's take on from there.
So after my resignation, I get released after a month and I leave for Singapore. I have two children that time, Monica and Sumuk, and we four of us we leave for Singapore. When we went there, we were received by the port authorities and put in a hotel. There we stayed for a month. They paid for everything for a month and a half. So they gave me their quarters near the port. Meanwhile, I was going every day to the port and I met Sir Ashley Todd, who was superintendent of pilotage. And he told me to follow some senior pilots to know the harbour. The harbour was a very vast one. They were all around Singapore, there were ships.
At that time, how many times bigger Singapore port was compared to, say, BPT?
In Bombay Port Trust, we had 30 ships a day. In Singapore, we had 300 ships a day.
Oh, so that was 10 times.
10 times.
Okay.
And we had 150 pilots from all nationalities, mostly British, New Zealanders, Australians were more.
And how many Indians were there?
There were about 3 or 4 Indians had gone before me.
I see.
And they were Figueredo, George, Sama. These were the people who had already done about 2 years there.
I see.
And so first we started following the Indians because I didn't know anyone, and then some British senior pilots. Just for a month or so, all sides of the port I had to go. There were a Butcher Island, Shell refinery, there were a BP refinery, there were container terminals, and all around there were islands, and so we had to know each and every corner. It was difficult, but still with our past experience, we could get along. So after a month, I started on my own. I found that Port of Singapore had recruited six boys, around 18, 20-year-olds, bright boys, to learn pilotage.
I see.
They started following me, and I used to love to teach them whenever doing ships. What happened that the locals came to know me. The other pilots, there were 150 pilots, they used to say, don't teach the locals, don't teach the locals. It was a private pilotage. 10% of the pilotage revenue used to go to us as bonus every month. Wives used to talk how much bonus we get. And these boys used to go for drinking.
Say if in India you were getting 100 rupees, how much were you getting in Singapore?
I was getting 3 times that.
3 times?
Yeah.
Okay.
As a wages. But I was getting 10 times as bonus.
Oh.
First 3 years. First 3 years of contract.
So that was a pile of money.
Pile of money. So much money we were getting. So they used to say, and there was lot of accidents to take place because strong tides all around the island. And the insurance used to take care of that. And they used to say laughingly, if any problem, call Captain Kumar, because I was always at home minding my family, taking care of it.
Not drunk.
And not drunk. So what happened, the shipping community came to know me because all mishaps and all, I was present. So my reputation that's going stronger, and these 6 boys used to follow me, and I used to love to teach them because I was a professional. I used to sit with them, eat with chops. I learned to eat with chopsticks and all. And so the administration came to know that this fellow is somebody of, whom we can really depend upon.
Reliability better.
Reliability. So slowly, say what happened in Bombay, the shipping community came to know me. I was doing the biggest ships, 250,000 tonners, 70 feet draft. I had to bring to Butcher Island. I had to bring these 3 container ships, Tokyo Bay, Cardigan Bay. They were the first container ship from London. And they used to fear coming into port during spring tides. So the CEO of that company came to Singapore to find out why these captains were afraid to go into Singapore, especially at night. So one day I bought Cardigan Bay in the morning. I came to office by 7. Our superintendent of Ashley Todd, he was Sir Ashley Todd, knighted by the Queen because of the prestigious post. He asked me, Trillo, can you come and talk to the CEO of O Sail Lodge? He had come from UK to talk to. His captains were afraid to get into Singapore at night. No, and it was a very restricted place. But he asked me, "How do you bring the ship in?" And I told him, "I do this way." And he said, "Don't tell me 65,000 tons in this drastic manner you handle the ship." I said, "That's the only way to beat the tide. And if you don't trust me, go on the ship, look at the logbook. They have all my orders because they're for insurance you have to show." See? This is- I said, and I walked away because I was young and I knew my job. I didn't care. I just walked away. Interestingly, the same man I met in Muscat, and I was called to a party because became a chairman of that OCL line, and he visited Muscat to meet the shipping agents. So one of the British shipping agents called me for a party. There were 40-50 Britishers there. And I was introduced, meet Captain Kumar. At that time I was advisor to Oman on shipping. He said, "Hello, don't we know you?" I said, "Yes, we met in Captain Todd's office in so-and-so day, and I told you how I bring the ship, and you said, I don't believe it." "Thank God!" he shouted, "I met you." I said, "Why?" "I became a chairman of a subsidiary company. I was based in Singapore. I was from the 29th floor. I realized what you said was right and I was wrong." And we spread around in Oman, you know. After 2 days, the shipping agent of that company came and sat in front of my office and started smiling. I said, "What happened?" "Sir, we had a shipping agents meeting and we told about these incidents what our chairman said. We sleep well in Oman because Captain Kumar is there."
And at that time, what was your age?
I was about 38, 39.
38.
And these boys were around 20. I will love to teach them. You know?
Yeah. I
So
can
it was like
understand.
that. So I became very popular in Singapore also,
Hmm.
like our man. They used to call me our man. That's what happened.
So you became a teacher,
Teacher. I became a teacher.
a mentor.
Yeah. And I once I brought a VLCC, 250,000 to Bukom. Bukom is where the Shell refinery is. I brought her there. When I boarded the ship outside, 7 miles away, I told the captain, "Get your anchors out," because we use the anchor to bull. And he said, "Yes, it's coming, coming," and it did not happen. When I came inside, I had to turn the big anchor and take it out. I could not move her. There was a big alarm in the port. And I called for 2 tugs and I turned the ship round and somehow I struggled and went out. Same thing happened to another British pilot and he could not do it. He damaged the tanker and the whole of Singapore was flooded.
With oil.
The Prime
slick.
Minister of Singapore knew what happened. And then they called me for an emergency meeting. The British refinery, Shell refinery superintendent, "How you managed to do it?" And I said, "I kept cool. I took 2 tugs. I turned her around. I didn't panic. It was difficult."
And Krishna is with you.
Yeah. So the British pilot lost his job because so much damage and
Yes,
so much
yes,
pollution.
yes.
Clean. It was very difficult.
Which was the biggest VIP ships you
I was
piloted?
Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth. They came in Singapore. I used to do it. And
And
they
they must be coming regularly every year.
every 3 months they would go Canberra,
Big ships.
big ships, bigger than what came to Bombay.
Yeah.
See, and even US aircraft enterprise, nuclear enterprise, I brought her into Singapore. They were there, and even the submarine, nuclear submarines, I piloted even that. He said sitting like on a fish, like Your experience is different in everywhere. I have even taken oil rigs which were built in Sembawang, north side of Singapore, and floated on on barges, and they raised the barge up and they used to take it to Houston. Before that, they used to tow it with tugs. They used to take 6 months to reach. And after putting on barges, they used to do it in less than 2 months. Just so much saving they had. And after I left Singapore, after few years, nobody could do it, so they banned it.
So you were there in Singapore
for 10 years.
10 years.
This was the first 3 years I'm talking. After that, I came to
I
Bombay.
think we'll take it in the next video.
Yeah, after first 3 years contract.
So this was first 3-year contract. Okay. So that'll be Singapore part 2 in our next episode.
Correct. It will go to part 3 also.
Okay. Okay.
Because it's a
Okay,
big thing.
it
Lot
was
of
fun.
things happened there.
Yeah, it was fun listening to you. So we meet again for Singapore Part 2.
But
Goodbye. Please like, share, and comment. And if you like this content, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. See you again.